Friends, when you have a YouTube channel, not all knife reviews and knife unboxings go as you hope they would. You know, you dish out your hard-earned money to buy a product and you want to show it off on a video, and you know, you want to get a bunch of views and likes on your video, so you try to pick cool products. You know, in this case I got a Heritage Series Bruin by Old Timer. It's a 5 OTH or 5 Old Timer, and the H I think is for Heritage Series. This one was made in China, and you know, I had bought Chinese-made old timers before, and in this video here, if you check my playlist, Polishing a Turd, I polished that knife up and turned it into a pretty nice little knife that I was proud of. So I was hoping to do the same thing with this Bruin. You know, in the photos it looked like a nice knife, kind of a mid-sized lockback knife. I said, you know, let's check this thing out. So started the unboxing. You know, came in this big plastic tray. You know, I just really don't like the way Old Timer box their knives. You know, I'd prefer something like Case does. Just put it in a small box like this. Save some money, save us some time and effort, and save some trash from the landfills, right? So anyway, started getting up and close with the knife, you know, trying to get some footage. Had a hard time getting the camera to focus. That was part of the problem, but once we did and started looking at the knife, you know, at first looked like a decent looking little mid-sized lockback. Like I said, you know, nice full flat grind on that blade, drop point blade, got a nice tang stamp. Who doesn't like the Old Timer logo, right? But then we saw some gaps there in the back spring, and you know, started looking over a little bit more, closing the knife. It was pretty stiff. Blade was hanging off to the show side there. As you can see, once we get this focused, yep, hanging way off to the left there. You know, we fixed that before on the channel, showed a video showing how to do that, but normally we'll go ahead and finish checking out the knife and testing it out before we start fixing some of the problems. Another thing we noticed, that the blade was like a butter knife. Didn't feel like it had any kind of edge at all. So I went ahead and took some of my One Angry Kid knife oil and started to lubricate the knife. See if we can get that stiffness worked out of it. And found a little something stuck to the side of the blade here. Still not sure exactly what it was. I think possibly it was some kind of epoxy that those Chinese fellows use when they put a knife together. I'm not sure why they would put epoxy in there like that, but you know, it was really hard. Almost thought it was metal at first, or some kind of defect when they made the blade. But as you can see, the rest of the blade is polished around it, so I do not believe that was on there when they you know, they finished the blade. I think it had to do when they assembled the knife. Here's a better view of it here. So it's just wedged in there, and that's what's causing the bolsters to push out there on both sides on that pivot point. So grab the old Spitfire again, you know, and started trying to work whatever that junk was off of there. And, you know, just took a little effort scraping on it, and it just kind of crumbled as it came off. That's why I was thinking it was some kind of epoxy. As you can see, left the blade pretty clean underneath it. So first I was like, yeah, no big deal. Got it off there, but tried out the knife and it was still really stiff. Didn't free up a whole lot like I wanted it to, especially when I tried to open it up fully. I just really got real stiff there, and So you can see here, it's kind of separating those bolsters there on that pivot point. See the gap in there? See what's going on there? And it's that stuff that's still stuck to the blade that's up inside there that I can't really get to too good. So just continue to work on it, picking away at it, and you know, work the knife until I got all I could out of there, and it started freeing up the knife a little bit. And if you see here, you can see those bolsters are now closer at that pivot point, and it looks a lot better. And that also went ahead and took care of the blade centering. So the blade ended up, you know, being off because of that junk on the side of it. So now it is centered correctly, but that blade is still like a butter knife, so we got to do something about that. So decided to test it first, and yep, my finger didn't lie. That blade is just dull. You know, it barely cuts that paper. And it sucks because, you know, the Chinese usually do a pretty good job on getting a good edge on the blade. But this one, they sure didn't. So I decided just grab my little Spyderco, two-sided little slipstone I keep in my cup there. Got the coarse side on the one side, and yep, it's got a big chunk out of it because I dropped it, unfortunately. I just haven't bought a new one because the prices on these things really went up. And it still works on these small knives. You know, you just run out of real estate a little bit when you try to do a full stroke on a bigger knife. But definitely still got a full side on the ceramic side here. So, and this little stone is just handy. You know, you clean it out every once in a while with a little palm olive and warm water with a scrubby on a sponge, and that's all it takes is to maintain that. So handy little stone, recommend them. They're just a little pricey. Alright, then I took my leather strop and gave it half a dozen swipes on there, and you know, made sure I cleaned the junk off. I forget to clean off the knife before I put it on my strop sometimes. And y'all should try to do that too, because you don't want to get all that sharpening junk on your leather. It just get embedded in there. But anyway, ran it on the strop, and make sure I didn't leave any kind of little burr or anything on there. Some people say you don't need to do this after you do, you know, the fine stones, because the stones are finer than the leather. But as you see, I don't have no compound on there. And get me another piece of paper out here. And yeah, I mean, it's no lightsaber, but it actually cuts now. So I will not be embarrassed to give this knife away. And I think I'm going to go ahead and throw this knife in the surprise package, or the mystery package, that I offered for the Christmas knife contest. So the person that gets the surprise package is also going to get this knife here, because I don't really want it, and I figure I'd give it away, and if they don't want it, they can give it away themselves. Alright, just get it off the desk. So I hope you enjoyed this little video, me trying to make lemonade out of a lemon. If you did, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. Share it with your friends who might like similar knife content. Thanks for watching. Y'all be safe out there.